Hey everybody, Brandon with Flyin Miata back for another FM Live. Now, lots of times I talk about new products. It's kind of my thing around here. I have a new thing this time, but it's not a new product, it's a new human. So we have increased our engineering department by 50%. So we are gonna introduce you guys to Ryan, but I want to throw some questions at you first. Try to guess to see what we have in common. It's the obvious stuff. Yes, we both own Miatas. That's kind of a gimme. But there are other things, and it's more than one thing. So throw those in the comments. Let us know what your guess is for what we have in common. And if you have any other questions, as always, drop them in the comments. We'll get to them live. If not, we'll get to them after the fact. And as always, you like this stuff, throw us a like if it's a good video. If you want to see more of it, subscribe. That's what we're here for. So, why do we need another engineer? We are very busy. We have lots of ideas for new products, and we don't have the bandwidth to make them happen. So we added another engineer to the department. So that will allow us to get more products out more quickly. So we're all very excited about that. Now, finding the right engineer took a long time. There were a lot of really, really good candidates. Again, thank you to everyone who put their hat in the ring. It was a struggle to find the right person and to narrow it down because we had so many good candidates. But we came up with that person. They accepted the offer, and that is Ryan. So welcome, Ryan.
Hello.
To the internet. So you have been aiming at this job for actually a few years now.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. What made you do that? What made you reach out in the first place?
So I really I wanted to work with something that I love to do, and I love Miatas, and I love working on my car. I love the phrase, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And so I knew I wanted to work with something I liked, and Miatas are really cool, and I'd love to work with Miatas. On top of that, Flyin Miata, I really like all of our high quality parts. We have a nice, well curated collection, and as an engineer, I even like that even more. I want to work somewhere that we build high quality, good parts. And so Flyin Miata seemed like a perfect place for that. So I reached out a couple years ago, and we've been chatting back and forth, and the right opportunity came up, and here I am.
Yeah. Yeah, that Ryan, literally, it's been two and a half years, I guess.
Yeah.
Every Miata's at the Gap, Ryan would reach out like, hey, can we catch up? Because he was from down south there. Mm-hmm. And we would chat for a while, and he would say, yeah, if there's ever a job, let me know. And then turns out, fast forward far enough, and there was a job. So, so what did you do before FM?
So I've bounced around a couple engineering places, a couple industrial places. I built conveyors for a bit. I designed some piping systems. Most recently, I did product development, at a product development company where people brought us their $1 billion idea and we made it happen. So learning a lot more about the product development cycle, what it takes to get a product from an idea to an actual tangible thing, building a prototype, and then getting into production. So a lot of what we do here, and it was really cool designing things, but I wanted to hone that in, and I really wanted the idea of building Miata parts. So it's even cooler doing that now.
Yeah, exactly. You got kind of the well, I'm sure some of it was exciting, but some of the, boring, you need to learn this kind of stuff, and now we can do the fun stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been here for a whole month at this point.
I've been.
Yeah, I cannot believe it's been that long.
I know, right? Yeah.
Feels like you've been here both 2 days and forever
Exactly.
all at the same time.
It does. It does.
So what do you think? What do you think of FM? What do you think of your job? What do you think of the area?
I love it all. It's awesome. The people here are great. The job is great. I really like everything I do. Like I said, it's pretty much my whole career. I have never really been working anywhere that I'm excited to wake up and go to work and work on something really cool. And I get to do that here now every day. I'm just so excited to get into the office and get working and get designing. All of the people here are awesome and super fun to work with. Super great people. And then the area itself is just awesome. Colorado is so cool, especially out here on the Western Slope. We're an hour and a half from Moab. We got the Mesa right there, skiing. We're a couple hours from Aspen and Vail. You can go skiing skiing, snowboarding, really, off-roading, camping. I can do all the fun things I want casually on a weekend. So it's super exciting. So I'm loving it all. It's all been great so far.
Yeah, that's it's kind of reminding me of myself when I moved out here many moons ago, and same kind of thing. There's so much to do outdoorsy and awesome people and fun subject matter and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So let's see. Can you tell us a bit about your Miata?
Yeah. So this is a 2001 NB2. It's got the 1.8 VVT. It's got a few Flyin Miata parts on it. It's got the Stage 1 Happy Meal. It's got VMAX Classics. It's got a Racing Beat muffler on it that I really enjoy the sound of. It opens it up a little bit from stock, but nothing too raspy. Not straight piped. I don't do that. But other than that, I've kept it pretty much stock. I like to keep a nice, comfortable ride. I don't really want to turn it into a race car. I'll buy another Miata for that. So this is my fun street car. I daily this in Atlanta for years. I've had it for 6 years now. So daily driving, there was multiple points in my career where I was doing 65 miles round trip a day in a commute, and I do it in this, and I loved it. It's got 220,000 miles on it. I got it at like 180, I think. So I put quite a few miles on it. Had a lot of fun in it, sometimes too much fun. I did have to change the engine out because I spun a bearing, having a little too much fun. I've been through like 3 clutches in my 6 years of ownership, which is not right. So it's been great to me. It's been a joy to work on, a joy to learn around, a great way to learn how to work on cars. Miatas are awesome for that. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess kind of to piggyback on that, what drew you to Miatas in the first place?
I wanted a project car. I had a buddy that inspired me to buy a project car. Shout out Lewis if you're watching. He told me I should buy a project car because I was getting into sim racing and everything, and spending too much money on my sim racing. He said, you might as well just buy a car. And I said, you know what, you're right. So I went out looking. I had a buddy that was into Miatas, and so he convinced me to buy one. I liked the idea of a small, easy to work on, cheap car that I could learn how to wrench and have fun driving, and it was a convertible, so I was like, that's cool. Driving that around, especially in the fall and spring in Atlanta. We had a lot of nice roads up in North Georgia to cruise on, and just everything about the ethos of the Miata I just fell in love with doing the research. I was back and forth between a couple different cars, but I landed on Miatas and I haven't looked back since. So
yeah, very cool. I think we can all identify with that. That's kind of a lot of that is exactly why we're here. So I think you've had some recent race experience in, if I can understand correctly, basically the opposite of a Miata, but still on pavement. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I was part of a Lemons team this last December at Road Atlanta. We were the 4 horsemen, and our car, we had an F-250. It was mostly designed by my old coworker, Dan Hammer. He comes from BattleBots and a whole bunch of other really cool, exciting things. Great engineer, and he put together this design for chopping up an F-250 and turning it into a race car. So we had a front splitter. He built a carbon fiber wing for it. It had 4-link suspension in the rear. We shortened the frame a little bit, put a fuel cell in it, and raced it, and had a lot of fun with it. It was an awesome experience. Kind of going on the other end of Miatas, big and heavy, but apparently I didn't get to drive it. I was not a driver, but they say it drove wonderfully. It was really cool. Like I said, I like this as a street car, and I like it to be smooth and comfortable. So it was really cool working on a car that I didn't have to care about that about. And we gutted the interior. It was loud. It was rattly. It was not comfortable to drive, but it performed well on the track. So it was really cool to kind of have that dedicated focus. So that was a really exciting project.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the goal. Build to what the job is, and the job is different between these
Exactly.
two things. So, and reminder, if you guys have questions for Ryan, drop them in the comments. I don't think we've gotten anything quite yet, and we also haven't gotten any guesses on what we have in common. I will give you a hint. There have been hints throughout this conversation. So can you give us kind of a high level what kind of stuff you're working on right now, or what you've been working on so far here?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been working on a lot of NC tools, a lot of a couple ND projects, learning those two, where I come from NBs, and I can glean some similarities into NAs. So it's been really exciting working with the NCs and NDs and learning them. They're awesome cars. The NC is, I'm having such a good appreciation for NCs. I know that they're kind of the redheaded stepchilds of the Miata family, but I've been loving it. I finally got to drive Nancy last week, and it was a blast, especially with our new turbo kit. Super exciting, super fun. So I'm really excited to continue working on those two and developing new products for them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a fair amount of coming up to speed and also throwing you to the wolves and like, okay, here's the thing, make it happen.
Exactly.
Which has been fun.
Yeah, has been.
Okay, so yeah, again, you guys have questions? Yes.
So now that you're here at FM, what are your future mods for your ND?
So now that I'm going to repeat the questions. So now that you're here at FM, what are some future mods for your NB?
Boost. First thing, I am still naturally aspirated, so I will be getting a turbo kit as soon as possible and be installing that. I've been perusing the catalog, and my perspective has changed as from a customer. Now I'm an employee. I have a lot more excuses to get parts on my car. So we'll be doing a cooling revamp, put a crossfold radiator on it, get some boost, probably redo my shocks, because I do have VMAX Classics and I love them, but they are quite old at this point. They're at least 6 years old because they actually came from the previous owner. So definitely in need of some new shocks. They still ride great, but I think I can do a little better now. Other than that, I might wrap it, might paint it. Not entirely sure yet. If you have color suggestions, I'm open, so put them in the comments. And that's about it. Roll bar and hardtop, hopefully, if I can find one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, good list for sure. Mm-hmm. More questions?
Is it... Hey, I'm reading questions here. Is it a requirement that you wear plaid to be an engineer at FM?
Apparently. There's been many days here where Brandon and I have coincidentally matched. And really around the whole office.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's an engineering specific thing. Like today, example A, yes, fair, but in general. A common problem around here is that many of us wear the exact same thing, and there's lots of overlap where we all look like twins in the office, because most of our wardrobes are 90% Flyin Miata things for some strange reason. So, yeah, pretty common occurrence around here.
Yep.
More questions? Not yet? Okay. We will give everybody more of a chance to come up with what we have in common. So you kind of answered this already. So we're going to go through questions we got ahead of time.
Cool.
But I want to see what kind of answer you can come up with for this. How many pounds of boost is your Miata currently running?
Big zero. We are at atmospheric pressure, which is even thinner up here.
Yes.
So 0 PSI extra. It'll get fixed soon. Don't worry.
Yep, there are plans for that for sure. Okay, what are your thoughts on the ND3 chassis from an NB owner's perspective?
I like it. I like the NDs. I think they're, if I'm allowed to say it, I think they're really sexy. It's such a great embodiment of modern Miata. Half the reason I love the NB is just because it's got that old 90s Japanese styling to it that I love so much. The ND is just a fantastic modern recreation of that. I think it really embodies the spirit of NAs and NBs really well. And it's just a 2025 NA NB Miata. So it's been a lot of fun driving that and learning it, and it's got the same potential and the same characteristics as we all love from our Miatas. So I've been really liking working on the NDs and getting to know them better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Really all the Miatas, and there are ups and downs and pros and cons and whatever else of the different generations, but they're all small, fun, toy cars that are just an absolute riot.
Honestly,
yeah. Exactly. Okay, have you met Ethan, and can you tell Ethan hi for me?
Yes, I have. Hello, Ethan.
There you go. Good job. Okay, why do you own an NB instead of one of the other generations?
Because it's the best. It is objectively the best in my opinion. Like I said, I love the 90s Japanese styling, so that narrowed it down to NA and B to me. And then between that, NB2, it's the best. It's the stiffest, it's got the best engine, or at least the most horsepower. Best is subjective, and I know there's the 1.6 fan club is going to kill me for that.
Careful,
but,
you've met Ethan. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but most highest horsepower, stiffest chassis, kind of ironed out all the kinks that the NAs had. So it was just the best to me, and I wanted the most bang for my buck when I bought a car, and I feel like I did that with a 2001. It's a 2001 too, so it's even got the Torsen LSD, so that was awesome too. So it's the best. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't know. As an NA owner, we might have to have words about that later, but we'll see. We'll have that conversation at a later time.
I'll get an NA eventually. Okay, I do want an NA. That's not saying anything about the NA. Just, if I had to have one,
Fair enough. There are some serious pros for sure. We have more questions from the audience, apparently. Hello, audience.
So we had a viewer chime in with a question that seems very interesting, and maybe there's some backstory behind it.
Uh-oh.
And the question is, has your car ever caught on fire, and how many times? I feel like there's a story here. So.
I will also note that there is a fire extinguisher in the car, and perhaps this is based on past experiences. Let's find out, Ryan.
Yes, it is in there for a reason, due to some history. I changed out the battery leads, or the clamps for the battery cables, to some cool quick connectors that I was like, this will be so nice for when I'm working on my car and don't touch it for a week. And I had a problem where I would refuse to do that, and then the battery would die and I have to buy a new battery. So I put some really fancy quick release clamps on it, and then they slipped out of them, and the positive and negative crossed together and lit my trunk on fire. So that was a very exciting day. I was driving and the car bugged out, and I pulled over, and I had the top down, so smoke was coming out of the top, like on behind the seats, and I was like, where is that coming from? I looked under the car, didn't see any flames. I couldn't find anything behind my seats. And I was like, well, I guess I'll pop the trunk and try to disconnect the battery. Hopefully, if it's an electrical fire, hopefully that'll fix it. Pop the trunk, and my whole trunk was on fire. So found the fire. So luckily I had enough carpet that wasn't on fire that I folded the carpet over and stuffed it out with itself. Yeah, that was fun. Had to replace all the battery cables and installed a fire extinguisher in my car. So if it ever happens again, hopefully it doesn't. But if it does, I'll at least have a fire extinguisher this time. So.
That's quite the story. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So follow-up question, have you replaced the carpet in the trunk?
Yes, I have actually. I did. That was on the list too with that project. I did find new carpet and everything. So my interior bits, I think I still have the old burnt ones as spare carpet pieces I can lay down on the ground on my driveway.
There you go.
Protect my knees. But yeah, it's got a little charring on it. But no, I do have new trunk pieces.
Okay, perfect. So no evidence of the fire back there.
I think there's a little soot on the inside of the fender that you can see, but that's it. Just a little bit of burn marks on the inside of the fender, but no, the interior pieces I replaced.
Fantastic. Yeah, so lesson there, be very careful with electrical connections and what kind of connectors you use on that.
Yeah, that's what I learned that day for sure.
Yeah. A friend of mine has a very impressive scar from shorting the battery terminals together. Yeah, if you're wearing a metal ring, it will conduct that heat right into your flesh real fast.
That'll do it.
So yeah, be careful with that. Okay, so let's see. We have more questions here. What would be your first or favorite performance upgrade for a bone stock NB under $1,000? I'm assuming the $1,000 is the price of the parts, not the price of the car. But
yes, I would assume so. I'd say coilovers, especially like I said, I have VMAX Classics. I think they're $700 on our website, and it's just ridden so beautifully for me. It handles really well when I go up to the mountains, and it carves and gives you a ton of steering feel. But then it also rides really smooth. Like I said, I've been dealing this in Atlanta for 5-6 years now. Lots of mileage on it, lots of really bad Atlanta roads, and it rides smoothly. There's a lot of times I'm going down the highway and I'm just amazed at how smooth it is considering it's on coilovers. Typically people think that coilovers are really stiff and ruin your ride quality unless you're actually, performance driving. And I've just been amazed by the VMAX Classics at how smooth they are, but also giving you that performance advantage. So that would be my one. After that, I'd say wheels and tires, but that typically will push you over the $1,000 mark. So if I had to pick one, coilovers first, because I did have coilovers with the stock wheels for a long time. And it rode really well, less traction, which can be fun in the right situations, but also you can't quite corner as hard until you put some sticky tires on it.
Yep, absolutely. I'll echo the comments on the VMAX. I mean, I guess you were biased. I am biased because I've been working here for roughly forever. Less so with you, but yeah, I've got the VMAX Classics on my wife's old car, and great.
Fantastic.
Street track, whatever.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit here. What was your highest rank in Boy Scouts?
I am a proud Eagle Scout. I was involved with the Boy Scouts, even through Cub Scouts. So I guess first grade is when I got involved with that. Stuck through it all the way through the end of high school. Got my Eagle Scout. Even came back as an adult leader for my troop for a while because I still had friends that were younger than me. You get kicked out of Boy Scouts when you turn 18. I turned 18 first, so I came back as an adult. And then even stuck around after that for a couple more years because I had younger friends there. And I was involved with Boy Scouts for a long time. I'm an Eagle Scout, and that has a lot to do with why I love it out here in Colorado so much. I can go camping and hiking and backpacking super easily. So, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Okay. Are you going to be working to engineer any new NB parts? I don't know if that's a question for you or for me. But
yeah, honestly, I don't know, Brandon. You tell me. I'd love to. I don't think we really have anything in the pipeline, at least not immediately. Like I said, I've been mostly working on NCND parts. We've had our NAs, NBs around for a while, so probably less development there. But hey, I'm ready for it. If you got suggestions for products, put them in the comments. We are open to ears, so we'd love to come up with some new stuff to design and put on the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, if you have ideas, put them in the comments. I will say that there are, maybe not huge and dramatic, but there are some NA and B parts in this year's timeline. So yes, probably. I don't know. You're going to be the one designing them or not? Probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay. What is the favorite thing about your NB?
Just the way it drives. Like I said, I just love cruising, going up to the mountains and, having some fun with it. And like I said, it doesn't drive like a race car, I like Brandon mentioned, I take it to Tail the Dragon every year and it's just a blast. I'll just go up and down all day, There's cool things to see in the village and talk to the vendors and talk to people like Brandon, but most of the day I'd spend just going up and down the Dragon. It's just a lot of fun to drive and I just never get tired of it. I would commute it to Atlanta, and back, 30 miles each way or so, and Monday through Friday, and then I'd wake up on Saturday and go, what sounds really fun? Driving. And I'd go hit, Blood Mountain or somewhere else in North Georgia and go do some driving because I just love it so much. It just handles so well. It's just such a fun experience driving. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, kind of why we do what we do, really. We have another audience question.
Hello. So, is there a project that you've had in your head that you've wanted to do, but you didn't have the resources to do it, but now that you're here, that you do have resources? Is there a dream that you have that you would like to share with FM and maybe the rest of the world?
Once again, boost. Working out in my parents' driveway, the turbo was a little more daunting. Not entirely the reason I didn't have one for now. It's not entirely my excuse. But definitely having access to a lift here changes my perspective a bunch. So there's a lot more I can be doing. I'm really excited to see where my car goes over the next couple of years and fleshing out the version of it that I've dreamt of for a long time. So lots of things.
Not just your car, but like a design for a product or something.
Like a design for a product.
Yeah.
Not super specifically. I've really liked the Flyin Miata catalog, and we have some great parts. And no, I don't have anything super specific that I can think of like that. Besides just building it out better and more, and having a cooler car that I'm more proud of.
Well, Internet, it sounds like Ryan needs help with that particular
Guess so.
question. So
Yep.
drop him in the comments. Let him know what he should do for his own car and as an FM project. Okay. We kind of already answered this one. So do we have any more questions? We're carefully perusing the list. No? Nothing?
We've covered most things.
Okay,
Cool.
fair enough. Well, we never got an answer on what we have in common, so drop those in the comments. The guesses should be pretty entertaining.
Cheers.
Yeah, well, we're both engineers. We both own Miatas. Those are the gimmies. So, yes, sure, you're right, and plaid shirts.
Yep.
But no, that's not the answer we were looking for. Okay, well, as always, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for helping us introduce Ryan to our fan base. If you have, if you have questions, comments, again, drop them in the comments. If you like this stuff, give us a like. If you want to see more of it, subscribe. And remember, we always do a live video on Thursdays. So stay tuned, and we will be back next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.